Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Sportsbet TV. I'm joining you a little bit later than usual, but I'm very glad to be here with you and able to pass on to you two free selections for Saturday, the 16th of December. If you're finding this YouTube channel for the first time, it's all about finding decent priced each way winners, often very big prices. And so you can subscribe by just clicking the button below this screen, the red button, and then you'll be in touch with me from now on with all the free selections. Well, we're continuing the build up towards the Christmas period, some outstanding racing to come, of course. And I'm going to have tips for you here at Sportsbet on Boxing Day, for the Boxing Day racing and for Saturday, the 30th of December as well. And that goes, of course, as well as next weekend, next Saturday. But if you want to get my selections every day through the holidays, that's going to include, of course, the big Leopardstown 4-day meeting, the Welsh National Card, the Kempton 2-day festival, including the King George, and the Newbury and Cheltenham cards that are coming up over the Christmas period. Then think seriously about signing up to my Out in Front subscription service, which is continuing in really fine form. We had a very nice double and a decent place from 4 selections last Saturday, and we're maintaining really regular profits. Last week at Sportsbet, Canal End was all the rage after I tipped. It was very heavily backed. The value had run well enough to be third, and poor old Voix de Rev sank in the mud, I'm afraid, in his race. He didn't enjoy himself. But despite all of that, we remain £80 up to the level £10 each way stake so far in December at Sportsbet so far this month. And that, of course, is to go along with the £598 profit since the start of year 4 on July the 1st, 2023. So that's not bad for free. But do remember to check out in Front, just £25 a month, and a lot of tips and a lot of opportunities coming up over the next few weeks. Well, let me give you my first selection for Saturday. Cheltenham 115 is a 2-mile handicap chase. Only 7 runners, so normally I wouldn't be tipping in a race like this because we look for each way at least 3 places, but 3 places are being offered by a number of firms. So that means we can take an interest in it, and there was nothing at all wrong with the reappearance run of In Excelsis Deo, Harry Fry's runner at Cheltenham in October, where it was running for the first time since April, kept on steadily from the last and was only beaten 2.5 lengths. It's gone up £1, and it's not hard to see why the bookies aren't taking too many chances with it. The main market rival is Dan Skelton's Calico, who won a decent 2-mile handicap chase at Doncaster last March before he took a tumble late on at Aintree in a Grade 1 in April, having gone well for a long way. Now, he ran really well first time back when beaten by Triple Trade at Cheltenham, beaten less than a length, Triple Trade was getting £9, and that should really have put this horse spot on. He'll be a tough nut to crack. Auchan Risk for Chris Gordon, a talented hurdler, but on the balance of form, he'd prefer a faster surface. And the very interesting 4-year-old is Sophie Leach's Madara, shown a lot of ability since joining New Connections after winning 3 times in France, and travelled a long way in the race, won by a Triple Trade last time. Gone down £2 as Madara. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that one go well. But my selection here, well, unlike so many of trainer Venetia Williams's horses, Funambula Sivola, who's going to be ridden by Charlie Deutsch, trained, of course, by Venetia. This horse goes on just about any ground apart from good to firm. And after 2 runs at Ascot this season, he should appreciate the return to Cheltenham, as he seems to be so much better racing left-handed. He's had those 2 runs at Ascot this season. He handed out a beating to the smart Elixir de Nuts going left-handed at Newbury last season in the Grade 2 Game Spirit chase, and that was a race he was winning for the 2nd year running. And then he got no further than the 3rd in the Queen Mother Champion chase, and that was the race won by Energumeni. The previous Cheltenham Festival, he'd been a superb 40-1 second on soft ground to Energumeni in the Champion Chase. And I think that having come down £6 in the weight for his 2 runs, running in the wrong direction this season, I think he's got a proper chance. And despite having to give weight away all round, I think at 7-1 each way, there's even a little bit of 15-2 I see now. For 3 places, I think he's going to run a really big race. Funambula Sivola on Saturday at Cheltenham in the 115. And then my second selection on a briefer than usual bulletin that I bring you this late Friday evening is at Doncaster in the 240, a 2-mile handicap hurdle where it's good to soft good in places. There are 12 runners, and has been the case for some time on the showcase race days in Britain. It's not easy finding big fields with runners with a proper chance at double-figure prices. It's become increasingly difficult because there haven't been that many really juicy sides fields. But in the quest to find one that will give you a run for your money at a decent price, I've turned to this competitive race at Doncaster on Saturday, the 240. Now, although he looks to have plenty going for him, Harry Fry's Gin Coco is available as big as 7-2, had been 9-2 early on. On the face of it, very hard to find any negatives about this horse who won a decent race at Ascot last time, and he's only gone up £4. The ground is ideal, and Ben Bromley will claim £5. I think he's the one that they all have to beat, Gin Coco, but I do have one that I think is going to give him a proper race at a price. Amongst the others, well, Clear White Light for Adrian Keatley, won with plenty in hand over course and distance last time. It slammed Soaring Glory, John Joe O'Neill's runner, who will reoppose here on £6 better terms, so she'll get a bit closer, but I still favour Clear White Light, and I reckon he won't be far away. A grand sort is Tommy's Oscar, trained up in the north by Anne Hamilton, a very classy horse. He won this race the last time it was run 2 years ago in 2021 when he gave £20 to Geronimo, another horse who's having another crack at this race. A Grade 2 winning hurdler, Tommy's Oscar, hasn't run over timber since he finished 8th in the champion hurdle of 2022 to the mighty Honeysuckle, and it's been doing well over fences since then. So I think it's a very interesting call that Anne Hamilton turns him back to the timber. Geronimo, as I say, for Donald McCain, who's having a great run and sent out an 80-1 winner on Friday at Doncaster. Well, Geronimo set to receive £26 this time from Tommy's Oscar. That is a lot of weight. That's 13 bags of sugar. But it's a hard horse to win with Geronimo. There's also a case to be made for Glorious Soft for Fergal O'Brien. In his latest run, if you take it literally, in the Grade 2 Kingwell hurdle at Wincanton at face value, gives him a big chance off this handicap mark, but maybe the small field flattered him. We'll find out a lot more on Saturday. And so to my selection, well, although he's the oldest horse in the field, Nayati, the second runner, trained by Donald McCain and with the champion jockey Brian Hughes on board, is still very sprightly as he comes up towards 10 years old on New Year's Day, and I thought he shaped really well on his return when 5th at Huntingdon last month, and that suggests to me that he can get involved here, especially as it transpired in the aftermath of the Huntingdon race that he'd lost a shoe, and that certainly wouldn't have helped him. He's ideally suited by a good strong gallop, and that allows him to switch off at the rear of the field, and then he likes to try and pick them up over the last 3 flights, picking them off one by one. And that's just what he did when he landed his 8th hurdles victory at Musselburgh last January, off £2 higher than on Saturday. He came home well to beat the youthful Collingham in the valuable Hogmanay handicap hurdle. He ran respectably on his 2 subsequent starts last term in hotter company, and I think he'll surely be better for that return effort at Huntingdon, as long as he keeps all 4 shoes on. On the assumption that there'll be a decent gallop to chase, Nayati looks overpriced. Now, he was 25-1 earlier in the day. That has gone, unfortunately, but 16-1 is still available for Nayati, and I think he's going to run really well for us in that 240 race at Doncaster. Remember, you can still sign up to join Out in Front ahead of Saturday's racing, where there are 4 selections, plus there'll be a few more to come on Sunday. But for now, from me, Paul Alster, here at Sportsbet, I'll say good evening and best of luck this weekend. Bye-bye for now.